Look back at history, there's a lot of great cars from the Group B rally era that spawned amazing rally homologations, and it's actually Group A that spawned most of the successes from that era. Often you'll find that success on the stages does not mean success on the roads, because some cars might be more expensive to produce on the roads as well as buy. And in the Lancia Delta Integrale's case, success on the road was a massive one. It had won 46 WRC wins and 6 Constructor Championships, and also known as one of the best hot hatchbacks in the world. Why is that? Part of the reason for this is that the Lancia Delta started off as a very small family people's car for the Italian people, and then was sent out to the rest of Europe. And this is why everyone loved it. It was a lovable car because people might have owned one before. And of course, over time, the Delta changed into such an aggressive rally beast. First debuted in 1979 at the Frankfurt Motor Show, the second was then debuted in 1993, and the third generation was debuted from 2008 to 2014 at the Geneva Motor Show. Group A succeeded Group B with a focus on safety achieved largely by limiting power output. Quickly adapting to new rules, Lancia built its first HF four-wheel drive version of the front-wheel drive Delta hatchback, which scored 1-2 finish at its maiden race in Monte Carlo in 1987. Lancia went on to win the Drivers' Championship with the four-wheel drive before introducing the HF Integrale at Rally Portugal in 1988. The first generation dominated World Rally Championships from 1980 up until 1990, and it was a homologation requirement of Group A that made it so cool. Of course, the HF came with four-wheel drive, and then there was the Integrale. And believe it or not, a total of 45,000 were produced. Time, Lancia went on to make the 8-valve Integrale and the 16-valve Integrale, and to the obvious car person, there might not even be that much difference, but they just got wider bodies in this time, and more power, and subtle tweaks that made the car really incredible. By the end of the 80s, this car had 250 horsepower, and went from 0 to 60 in just less than 6 seconds. Now, the Delta HF four-wheel drive is the one I want to focus on, because while it had its generations before it, this is the one that kick-started this incredible HF Integrale car. It came with turbochargers, air-to-air intercooler, and was equipped with balancing shafts. So it was, of course, an incredible beast from the off. It had a 2000cc engine. And then we get to the Delta HF Integrale Evolution. This is known as one of the best Lancias that ever was made, and people absolutely adore this when they think of the Lancia brand. This was obviously a 5-door hatch, and then it kind of became the homologation of rally cars. Yes, there was more before it and more that came after, of course, but that Fiat twin cam 2-litre really did make a huge difference, and the aggressiveness of the wider body. All of the September 1991 Frankfurt Motor Show had its eyes on this Lancia Delta HF, once again named the Integrale. The Evolution meant Evo, and of course was built from 1991 through 1992, so not a lot of time. At the end of the victorious 91 World Rally Championship, the HF Integrale 16-valve had won both drivers' manufactured championships. Lancia officially retired the car from rallying, but despite this, it went on to continue success in being a Martini Racing sponsored car, which everyone might know it for. It's almost thanks to cars like this that we have the GR Yaris, which thankfully Toyota made, and now other brands are starting to make homologation cars. Of course, as the rallies got hotter, the cars got hotter, and they became more and more desirable. Of course, not forgetting this car used to be once a family car for the rest of Italy, and a lot of people would buy it. At the time, the Delta HF needed to become a bit more of a homologation requirement for the road. It wasn't able to be opened up to American fans with their 25-year importation rule. The fans who loved it had the idea from the Volkswagen GTI, which it kind of looked like at the time. Those who can easily identify past the 8-valve, 16-valve and Evo variants from a quick glance. Lancia also built an Evo 3 concept called the Viola with an upgraded Garrett turbo engine, and that bumped it up to 230 horsepower with 236 pound of torque. It's amazing to see what such a small car can do for a small company in Italy back in the 70s. I think it's the fact that this car has a lot of character, even if it is a small, cheap little hatchback that started off in life as kind of boring. It became something that was incredible and so modified and tuned and so respectable in the rally world that now these cars are not cheap. To give you an example of just how impressive these cars are and how expensive they are, the Group A era really had been impressionable season with the hottest Delta that could have been the HF Turbo. These examples today can go from 50,000 for the Evo, which is of course the one we all want, for the special edition models, with 16-valve commanding prices in the region of 20 to 30,000 pounds. Seems almost too much to say, but the fact that this car really gets people into cars and is their dream car for what essentially is a hatchback is the reason why I love cars and homologations. This car has really changed a lot of people's opinions on small hatchbacks, and maybe for the better. Yes, there were some before, like I said, and now there's new ones, but is it a result of this HF that has changed the world of hatchbacks?
Don't forget to subscribe if you like car content.